let's see, the tools that you're going to be using is this is a glass cutter, and this will be your best friend. I love this thing. It's very like ergonomic. It's very good on, it's very easy on your hands. I'm always having like hand troubles, and this is very ergonomic, you can just like all. Now the important thing is about this glass cutter is that this part, this itty bitty little wheel attached to this swiveling head right here, this is the blade. It's a carbide blade, and basically what it does is it makes a score mark across the glass, making it much easier to, this is basically a controlled break. Keep this reservoir here filled with glass cutting oil. It's basically like lubrication to just keep the blade running smoothly. And basically here, I'll show you how it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't hurt you. There's like, you can always feel a little bit of oil. If you're doing that, it's working beautifully. This part, this is a good part to have if you don't have this next tool that I'm going to show you, because after you score the glass, you're going to have to tap it a bit, and this is just the thing to do it. And also, this is where you fill up the oil into the reservoir. And you see it's got a little O-ring to seal it, basically to keep it from like, haha, we're leaking. Just use this next tool, which while you don't exactly need to get the project done, it is very, very helpful. And this is like a pair of glass nippers, which basically the scored glass goes right in between here. You do make sure to line up the score mark with this part down here, and this part puts pressure onto the glass and gently breaks it in half. We're going to measure out a piece of glass to cut, and we're going to use, for me at least, we're going to use a speed score. For like architects use it, comic book artists use it, just a whole bunch of really cool stuff. And basically you want to measure how much. I just want to make a square, like either rectangular or square tile and length, and we're going to take a pen, preferably either a permanent marker or, well, a Sharpie pen. That's what I use. We make this line here, and we line this up, and yeah. And now we've made our plan as to where we're going to cut this thing. Now what I would recommend is that you take like some sort of straight edge, preferably metal, but I can't really find one right now, so I'm gonna have to use this flexible ruler. And this thing's been around for a while, and it's like one of those that don't really use it for measuring anymore. So, and basically the setup of a ruler is that there's like a beveled edge and a flat edge. We're going to use the beveled edge to lay down onto the glass, so that what it does is that it creates elevates the straight edge. And let's see, are you wearing your eye protection? Where's my eye protection? Okay, we're back. I found my goggles. They are on, and you better make sure that yours are on, because there's a little bit of a radius, if you will, where slivers of glass will break off from the main piece, but when you do the score and when you actually break the glass. And it's very important to have like your eye protection on, because itty bitty little glass shards are not a fun day for your eye. Not a fun day for any part of you. And now here's a little bit of advice before you go making the score, is you line up the ruler with the measured edge, and you back it up as much as you're gonna give, because like in the middle there's the blade, and it's a little bit off center. So like if you line it up with this, it's gonna be like looks about 1/8 of an inch off from what your plan is. So what you want to do is just kind of stagger it to the side enough to have that, And here's an important thing to remember. You keep the blade straight up at a 90-degree angle from, or is it 45? I'm trying to remember, either 90 degrees or 45. I think somewhere in that little zone you're good. Now, I can't stress this enough. Pull towards you and try and make it one solid score as you can, because if you go over this twice, this is just going to make more and more score lines, and it's more likely to go all, like when you actually try to split the glass, it's going to go all wonky and like, oh, do I have any examples? This was an example of a botched up score line, and as you can see, this little very sharp edge, I actually pricked my finger on that when I was doing some time. Let's see, make this more visible. And let's see. So basically, the score, you can see the score line right here. And since I kind of botched it, the glass kind of like went whoosh. It started off all nice and hunky-dory, and then boom, it went off to the side. And I tried to do it to the other side, but this is the problem area. This is the problem child, basically. And you don't want this. So the best aim to not get that is to make one solid, it's like make just like one solid score line. And I'm going to show you, there's a sound you got to listen out for. And it's that. Now don't go over the edge, because it's going to damage the blade. And just to help, since we're going to use the nippers, but just in case, this is a little insurance. To kind of establish it, it basically gets the fracture started. And line up with the score line. And there we go. There we go. We got a nice, it's a little bit wonky at this side, but this is pretty easy because this is a very thin piece of glass. Now this edge we can bevel it later. Score again. And there we go. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's like, you can see the score line a little bit where the fracture is going to start. So I would recommend going on the flattest edge here, but you can go on the other side and just put enough, just keep easing on the pressure until it breaks. And here we go. We have our sample tile.